Happy Monday. It's week 3, and there is no online meeting today, this afternoon. This is January 24th. So we will actually have we'll have our second online meeting next Monday, January 30th. My internet after this weather can be kind of unreliable at best, so I don't want to run the risk of having you online and me getting kicked off or not being able to get online at all. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a few minutes to go over last week and then look at what you need to do this week. So last week you actually looked at EdTech, right? Education technology, also known as instructional technology, and also known as digital teaching and learning. So you read an article by a very old article, by the way, um, written by one of the founding fathers of audiovisual ed tech, so to speak, Jim Finn. And we're going to look at that in just a second. You helped Jim learn ed tech, even though Jim didn't want to. And then you took a stance on, is a pencil a form of ed tech? And you try to change my mind. So let's just take a look at a couple of things. This article, it's just selected writings of Jim Finn, and I am an instructional technologist. My doctorate is in education technology, and so I love these kind of things. It's kind of nice to know your history, a little bit of your history as you move forward in learning more about why we're doing what we're doing. So I'm going to pull up this. Maybe I cannot pull it up. Let's see. Let's see if it'll pull it up. That's not it. That is another project I'm on. All right, so we're going to DC that. Anyway, you actually read through a little bit of this, and Jim Finn talks about something that's really important in the world of instructional design and lesson planning, and that is systematic design, a systems-based approach and a systematic design process. So a systems-based approach is considering all facets of education, all facets of the topic, and touching on each of them to make sure that you have not overlooked anything, that you've included everyone that should be. For instance, if I am creating a lesson on education technology, which I have been, I'm going to want to look at the users of the technology, the end users, meaning the students, the front end users, meaning the teachers. I'm going to want to look at administration. Are they going to support it? I'm going to want to look at how reliable is the technology. These are components of all of the things that you need to consider when you're designing things. So we touched on it just a little bit, but we're going to start getting a little bit more into it as we move forward. You are Jim, Learn Ed Tech. So in this discussion forum, and you guys have got some great stuff in here. You're a new teacher in a Title I county, and I'm sure you guys have already started learning about that. Title I counties are those federally funded counties where subsidized funding is given to the county because it is a area of poverty. So the way out of poverty is education. So channeling funds into an impoverished area helps the citizens in that area hopefully rise up out of it. That's a discussion for another class potentially. But so you're a new teacher and you've been assigned to Jim, and Jim wants nothing to do with technology. Jim makes a comment that he does not use technology in the classroom, and he really doesn't understand why the new school has been outfitted with so much stuff. Okay. You have everything you can imagine in your classroom. And so this discussion is for you to help Jim understand more about ed tech, understand more about why you have 25 tablets in a classroom, what a smart board is for, what VR, AR, AI technologies can do. So I haven't read everything yet, but I am going to read through all of your work. So I look forward to seeing, what I've read so far looks great. I look forward to reading the rest of it. So it's going to be interesting because you may encounter this when you go into your first teaching role. And it'll be challenging, but the point of this is that we are living in a world where we have these technologies and they're not going away. They're going to be growing. So in order for our students to be productive citizens, they're going to need to know how to navigate this world. And the best way to do that is to teach them with the technologies that are present. So sometimes it's hard to change a mindset in like gyms, but it can be done. The key to this is that just because you have the technology doesn't necessarily mean you should use it. You always have to align it to best practices, okay? You always have to align it to your content. We'll look at that in just a second. I'm going to pull up another presentation here in a couple minutes. All right, let's take another look at the pencil. Okay, I am an advocate that the pencil is a form of ed tech, okay? Some people are not, and that's okay. It all is rooted in your definition of digital age or education technology. But I want you to think about this. Long time ago, when we were writing on caves with carbon or what have you, someone somewhere said, "Hey, I'm tired of getting my hands dirty. Let's put some wood around this thing." Now that was pretty innovative for the time. So innovation is what drives ed tech, and necessity is what drives innovation. Okay. So if you have a need, you typically are going to say, what can I do? What can I make? What can I change to make life easier? And in your case as a teacher, you're going to say, what can I do, make, change to make learning more efficient and effective? So I look forward to reading these too, because I have had some students who are adamant about the fact that a pencil is not ed tech, and that's okay. I'm good with that. As long as you take a stance and stand on it, that's all that matters. And that's what's really important. And this week, you're going to do a discussion forum where you present something to the school board. And it's going to be really important for you as a teacher to develop your own philosophy of various things in education. And education technology is one of those things. And my advice to you would be form that philosophy, believe in it, own it, and stand on it, okay? Because you're going to have a lot of people challenge you, and that's just normal in life. So you want to make sure that you're well read on it, that you understand it, and that you stand for it, that you don't bend easily. But that doesn't mean you couldn't bend, okay? So if you have not done this yet, please make sure that you do. And if you haven't picked up on it yet, I am not one to penalize anyone for not getting something done by the deadline, okay? So I would rather you take a little bit of extra time to do the content, to complete the content, than rush and not fully get anything out of it. All right, we're at 8 minutes on this video, so let me move forward and show you this week, and then I'm going to come back with another video, and we are going to talk about it'd take a little bit more. Okay, your weekly to-do list right here. All right, so you've got one article. It's really not it's more of a guide, so to speak, on digital literacy and just some information on media literacy in it. But I want you to watch these videos on media literacy, digital literacy. I want you to look at this linked video to digital citizenship. Check out the website commonsense.org. That gives some really good information, especially for parents, on what digital citizenship means. Now, this is the educators, basically the educators toolbox. But if you look up here, parents can come here and learn some things too. So I have linked you to this. There are professional development resources there. I want you to become familiar with it because there are going to be times when you need to pick up professional development credit hours. You're going to need to find resources that support your lesson. And these types of websites can be very good for this. And commonsense.org is a great one. So if you're looking for anything to use in a lesson plan, you can find a lot of things through websites like this. All right. There is a discussion forum, and you'll have an assignment on media and digital literacy. We have obviously no weekly check-in, but we will be meeting next week at 3:30, and we will go over digital literacy. We might try to do some kind of neat activities to see if we can see what digital literacy and illiteracy is. So we'll look at that. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to stop this video and I am going to pick up another one and go over a couple of things about a systems approach and systematic design. So that's an overview. If you have questions about anything you need to do this week, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And don't forget, we will meet next week, January 30th at 3:30, and you will have a link in that week's content to access the Zoom.